even a little bit shocked by this. Gilbert Arenas, he slams the Miami Heat. He slams Heat culture and says that nobody wants to come to Miami and that we don't have anything to offer in the Ja Morant trade. So Gilbert Arenas doesn't get why Ja Morant is linked to Miami because they have no players anybody wants on their roster. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. We're so close to 8,000 subscribers. Let's get into the video.
See, you still on the bullshit. We in the new year, you still asking questions that just, nobody's going to Miami. They said they want draft picks, huh?
That's what
they want picks and players.
That's what
Who the fuck is over in Miami that anybody wants in this NBA?
We got
Can you tell me in the last 10, 15 years a Miami player that left and was successful when they left? 1, 2?
1.
Just Jimmy? And we still questioning that, right? Okay, so I don't think Memphis, even though they seem desperate right now, I don't think they're that desperate to take anything that's coming out of Miami. Right? They better look west. Right? See what's over there in OKC, see what, the Spurs got it. They can look over there, see what the Houston Rockets is doing over there. That's where the basketball players are. Ain't no basketball players in Florida right now, man. I'm sorry, man. Unless they're going to Orlando. Unless they're going to Orlando.
The entire state.
I'm just telling you right now, Miami, they need to let it go. Right? I don't know why Bam's still there. So I don't even know how their name keeps. It seems like they just put their names into everything. I don't know if anybody's really serious about going to play over there, man.
Well, those are the reports.
I want picks and players, and then you say Orlando.
The Heat.
I mean Heat, yeah.
I mean the Heat.
But the Heat expiring contracts do have some draft capital.
What about Minnesota?
What draft capital they got? They own some of the.
Talk about jealousy, envy, and hatred from Gilbert Arenas. The biggest thing about what he said is I understand where he's coming from when he says that when Miami Heat players leave Miami, they don't do anything. That's not our fault. That's not our fault that we maximize all of our players. And to be honest, this is why I keep trying to tell you guys. I understand that Ja has his off-court problems, and I'm not even the biggest Ja fan. But I'm going off of the Miami Heat logic. I've seen what we're able to do with undrafted guys. I see what we're able to do with guys that are forgotten about in the NBA. You're adding a 26-year-old guy who was supposed to be one of the faces of the league, who's athletic. I understand the injury concerns. I understand that his game has fallen off. But how can we ever find consistency in his game when he was getting suspended and getting into it with the coach? He's going to now be in structure. He's going to be around other talented guys, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, or depending on who's around, because you're not going to keep Ja, Tyler, and Norman Powell. So we're going to have to also figure that out. But this Miami Heat team is talented enough to where we can maximize Ja Morant. And that's my biggest thing. We need talent on this roster. This Miami Heat team is not good enough to say we don't want Ja Morant when there's really no one like Ja Morant on this team. So I understand what Gilbert Arenas is saying, but even look at the Trae Young package. The Hawks got absolutely nothing for Trae Young, and it's going to be the same thing for Ja Morant. Why on earth am I going to give up a bunch of assets for a guy that the other team doesn't even want? He no longer wants to be there. So I'm going to do everything in my power if I'm the Miami Heat to go get Ja Morant, maximize Khalil Ware, maximize Bam Adebayo in this pick and roll, and finally have another star on this roster. Teague said he would love to see Ja Morant and Bam in a pick and roll. I ain't gonna lie, I'd love to see that. That would give the Miami Heat the boost they need. We need a boost bad. Because I don't want to be in the play-in tournament year after year after year with the Hawks and the Chicago Bulls. That's annoying. Just imagine playing the double big lineup with Ja Morant, Bam Adebayo, and Khalil Ware. And you have an athletic guard in Ja Morant that's going to be dunking on people, throwing the lob to either Bam or Khalil Ware. That alone is offense. I understand we've gotten away from the pick and rolls, but this team has been asking for pick and rolls. I like the pace and space, and there's a time and place for that. However, you need pick and rolls in the game of basketball, especially when Bam, Tyler, and Norman Powell are asking to bring it back.
I'd love to see him and Bam in a pick and roll. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
I love that starting five with him on the team.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I love that.
But he goes to Miami, them keys, them Ja Morant keys.
Yeah.
Them Ja Morant keys.
And I don't think there'd be a problem with it. I think everybody would benefit from it as well.
I think the Heat that'll get a Heat a boost that they need, to be honest with you.
So you get rid of Hero and
a pick.
Hero on the pick.
I'm cool with that.
Salaries close and matching.
I'm cool.
Hey, you know what's crazy? I think Memphis will become a better team with Hero.
Think so?
Yeah.
He
Two
played
different
good
players.
basketball.
Yeah.
I understand why Miami Heat fans would be nervous. I would understand why the organization would be nervous. But if we're going to continue to be nervous and not maximize and actually stay strong on our own principles, values, and words, which is we look for the disgruntled stars and we grab them for a low price and bring them to the Miami Heat. That's what we did with Jimmy Butler. Could you imagine if we went off of Jimmy Butler's history where obviously things didn't end well, but it was worth all the Eastern Conference Finals runs. It was worth the NBA Finals runs. That's what basketball is sometimes about. You have a great chance to get Ja Morant at a low price and get a high reward. Get him focused on basketball again. He's only 26 years old. You're telling me that for the rest of his career, his numbers are going to be down? Let's be realistic here. We have to take that chance.
I honestly don't want him to go to the Bucks.
I don't like him in Milwaukee at all, actually.
I don't like it.
I like him in Miami.
I love him in Miami.
Yeah, I'm something on Miami.
Yeah.
I think they can clean up his act. Miami, you know, it's a different culture down there. I think it'll get him back to playing winning basketball, playing serious basketball. And then he's going to be in a city that he can thrive in, but it's also an organization that, like, people that got, like, a little fucked up image or whatever, they do well over there.
Yeah.
Like, Jimmy came from all the bullshit, went there, had a good run.
Yeah.
A lot of
winning
people do
basketball.
that. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
go to Miami to get their shit together, so it'll be good to
Milwaukee
see
don't
that.
make sense. But him and Giannis would be crazy.
It would be crazy, but I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I like Miami a lot, like you said, and what they would have to give up, maybe Tyler Hero, maybe a pick in return, maybe a salary.
The biggest thing for me is how long are we going to wait? We waited for Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard. All those plans fell through. I understand that they're also linking Sacramento and a few other teams to Ja Morant, but I don't see it happening. You have the entire NBA media, besides one of the biggest haters in Gilbert Arenas. You have Paul Pierce saying that Ja Morant's coming to the Miami Heat. Iman Shumpert, Shams. There's a bunch of NBA media heads pointing Ja Morant to the Miami Heat. You have to take that risk. I no longer want to worry about undrafted guys. And no, we need to maximize talent on this roster.